Shalom, shalom. This video is about the Gospel of John chapter 14 verse 20 to 31. And it's about Judas' prayer to understand what he's what's potting up. So Yeshua's talking, he said, in that day, and he's referring to the day when the Spirit of truth is given. So Yeshua said, in that day you will know that I am in my Father, you are in me and I am in you. He who has my commandment and keeps them is the one who loves me. He who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and reveal myself to him. Then Judah, not the Judah from Kriot, but the other disciple Judah, probably the brother of Yeshua, Judah said to him, Master, what has happened that you are about to reveal yourself to us and not to the world? Yeshua answered and said to him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word. My Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our dwelling with him. He who does not love me does not keep my words. And the word you hear is not mine, but the Father's who sent me. These things I've spoken to you while dwelling with you. But the Helper, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you everything and remind you of everything that I said to you. Shalom I leave you. My shalom I give to you, but not as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled or afraid. You've heard me say, I'm going away and I'm coming back to you. If you love me, you would rejoice that I'm going to the Father, because the Father is greater than I. I have told you now before it happens, so that when it happens you may believe. I will not talk with you much longer, for the ruler of this world is coming. He has nothing on me, but in order that the world may know that I love the Father, I do exactly as the Father commanded me. Apologies for the cough there. Judah sensed that something was up, hence his prayer. Master, what has happened that you are about to reveal yourself to us and not to the world? Judah's prayer has 2 points to ponder, and maybe as background I should remind you this happens after the Seder meal, just before the Passover. So Judah's prayer's 2 points is, what changed and prompted you, Yeshua, to reveal yourself? And secondly, why only to us and not to the whole world? What changed was, it was time for the Passover lamb to be slaughtered on that very same day. Remember that in God's view, the new day starts in the evening, not at midnight. It was Adonai's Moed, or appointed time, to fulfill the Pesach, the Passover purpose, to bring the ultimate sacrifice to atone for the collective sin of all humanity who believes in Yeshua and who keeps his commandments. Yes, I said, and who keeps his commandments, and it's not my words. Yeshua said so. It was barely discernible on earth, but of great significance in the spirit world. Yeshua desired to start his revealing of himself as the son of Joseph's suffering servant, leper Messiah, to his inner circle, and then allow the cascade through the Holy Spirit to reveal him from them to ever wider circles of believers. This is in stark contrast to his return, when he will be revealed to the whole world in a flash of lightning, from the east to the whole world, and with trumpets and shouting. What changed, as Judah asked, is that the mantle of Emmanuel was about to transfer from Yeshua onto the Holy Spirit. Yeshua was God with us, but after his return to the Father, the Holy Spirit will be with us as the Spirit of truth. When Yeshua returns to us to establish his millennium reign, he will take up the mantle and crown of Emmanuel again. It belongs to him. Judah's question implies a change of plan in his mind, but it was not the case. Adonai's plan for the salvation of fallen mankind was through two messiahs in a two-step methodology from the very beginning. Judah was not alone in his error of thinking. All Israel anticipated the arrival of the Messiah, but their hopes were pinned on the son of David Messiah, the conquering king, King of Kings who will expel the Romans. Nobody foresaw that the son of Joseph, Messiah, had to come first to suffer in order to atone for us. The error in expectation is also rife in today's pop theology. As it was, so it will be again. False teaching and biblical unsound doctrine abounds. Each one of us carries a responsibility to seek the truth out for ourselves and to discern the truth from the lies and false expectations that are being created by many false teachers of the great deception. And with that, I hope you have food for thought and something to ponder as you contemplate your navel. And I bid you shalom, shalom.